Carpentry 146, Stair Construction, Unit 1, Basic Stair Terminology. Upon completing this section, you will understand basic stair terminology and be able to make a sketch of a simple straight-run stair. You will be able to label all parts and indicate all required dimensions. Here is a through section of a typical straight-run stair. The first thing we need to know when we design and build a stair is the total rise. We define the total rise as the vertical distance from finished floor to finished floor measured in inches to the nearest 16th of an inch. Because flooring materials can vary in thickness, such as tile or hardwood flooring or carpet, be sure that you know what materials will be going on the various surfaces, the upper floor, the lower floor, and the treads. If all the materials are the same, for instance, everything is covered in the same carpet, then you can simply measure the distance from subfloor to subfloor, and all the materials will increase the same distance and your total rise will not change. However, if your upper and lower floors have different thickness materials, your total rise will be different than your subfloor rise. So we need to know what the total thickness of the upper and lower floors are before we can determine our total rise. If you're not sure, ask the architect or the homeowner what those finished materials will be so that you can accurately design the stair. Once we've determined our total finished rise, we can then calculate our unit rise. The International Residential Code states that the unit rise cannot be more than 7 3/4 of an inch tall. Also, it must be equal throughout the flight of the stairs. Each step must be exactly the same height. It does allow for a variance of up to 3/8 of an inch from the minimum rise to the maximum rise of the smallest and tallest step. However, when we lay out our stringer using the methods that we'll illustrate in this course, and if you can cut accurately, all of your steps should be within 1/16 of an inch of the others. Next, we need to determine our unit run. IRC code states that the unit run must be a minimum of 10 inches. There is no maximum. For simplicity, and to keep our stairs as short as possible, we typically use 10 inches for our unit run. However, you should check the building plans to see if the architect has designed a different unit run for some reason. The total run is a factor of the unit run multiplied by the quantity of treads. The stringer length is a diagonal dimension that we will calculate based on the total rise and the total run, and including a phantom run at the end of the stairs. We need to include the phantom run at the end of the stairs to accurately lay out our stringer. The phantom run is simply just one unit run beyond the last riser at the bottom. The pitch length is the diagonal distance of one unit rise and one unit run. Once we've calculated our stringer length, we can divide by our number of risers to calculate our pitch length. This pitch length will aid us in laying out our stringer and our stair. When the stringers have been installed, we can install the risers and the treads. The riser board is the vertical piece of wood, and the tread is the tread that you walk on. We may also install sub-risers and sub-treads before we install the finished risers or finished tread boards. This is often done to provide temporary walking surfaces and additional strength to the stair. Headroom height. The IRC says that the minimum headroom height for a stair must be at least 6 foot 8 inches tall. That distance is measured in a plumb line starting from the closest point of the upper floor to an imaginary straight line laid across the nose of the treads. The stairwell opening is often provided in the architectural drawings. However, if it is not, you can calculate it with methods we will discuss in another presentation. The upper construction is a term we use to describe the thickness of the upper floor. That thickness would include not only the joists of the upper floor framing, but also drywall, subfloor, finished flooring materials, and any other trim that would block or be around the stairwell opening to impede in the headroom height. The stair angle is based on the total rise and total run. Usually it is 30 to 37 degrees for a residential project. Knowing the stair angle will help in cutting skirt boards and handrails. We also have a hanger board that will help to install the top end of the stringers. We usually use a 3/4 inch or thicker plywood hanger board, or sometimes metal straps or metal plate. This is needed because the top riser is actually the face of the upper floor framing, and the first tread sits down by that first riser height. So to provide ample surface and support to the upper end of the stringer, we need that hanger board. Now it's your turn. Please find the matching page in your course packet and fill in the appropriate boxes for stair terminology. You have completed Lesson 1. Please review this as much as you need to so that you are familiar with all the terms. You will be expected to know these terms throughout the remainder of the course, as the instructor may discuss these terms with you during labs and exercises.